Now we're at that.
Yeah, we got levels. We're
As long as
recording.
we got levels,
we're
then
streaming.
Then we're streaming.
Yeah, only options you got are stop streaming and stop recording. So it looks like we're streaming and we're recording.
Yep, that we are.
Love when technology actually works compared to when I call.
Welcome back, my friend.
Happy to be back, my friend. It's been a week. Here we are.
Here we are, and I gotta tell you. Well, listen. Before we get into any football, I mean, really, there's nothing else to talk about. I was trying to think, like, outside of that, like, what's, because obviously we're not. This isn't.
Yeah, we're not really full swing of I mean, we're technically full swing of basketball because the
We're going to have to start getting some more into hockey because I feel like the season's starting to heat up. We're about a month out of both for the NBA and the NHL for the NHL, are they going to
they pause the season for the Winter Olympics,
Olympics, right? And that starts in February. So we're going to have a pretty
There's going to be a pretty big, I think it's like 3 weeks they shut it down.
Yeah, but those players still play.
Oh yeah, they're still playing. They're just
like,
rocking their country's jersey instead of their
which
teams.
is cool. Which I'm actually excited to see. So I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Winter Olympics. Can I just say that? So in a weird way, it's just something different. It's something on like every day. It almost like reminds me of the baseball season in a way where like every day there's a Yankee game on pretty much. Like every day, all right, I can throw it on in the background. It's there, like whatever. Like go watch some. Like it's a comfort. It's almost like, and I feel that way with like you get the Winter Olympics, you get the Summer Olympics, you only get them every couple of years, but when you get them, it's like a month long or more. Like you get immersed in it, and it's on every day and different events, and you get into it, and country pride starts to take over, and you see different people post about it. It's fun. I don't know, just something different. And like I said, it's not an every year thing. It's not an every. All the time. It's once every 4 years we get the winter. Once every 4 we get the summer.
Yeah, so, I mean, it works out where it's every 2 years you have an Olympics.
But,
right? But
it's not. You don't get the same one.
Yeah, you don't get the same one. And I think, look, I mean, all the years I've been doing this with you and working with you on this stuff, one thing me and you have always enjoyed is tracking that medal count and, paying attention to where the U.S. is sitting and are we dominating? Are we not dominating? So I think Winter Olympics, right? Like you've got the skiing long jump, which I think is one of the coolest things to watch. Because like most sports you watch and you're like, well, yeah, I could do that. Maybe not at a professional level, but yeah, I could do that, right? Never once have I watched one of those people that do that long ski jump and thought to myself, I could do that. I'd be at the top of that ramp with piss running down my leg, then freezing to my leg, and then blatantly being like, yeah, guys, this ain't for me. This just ain't for me. You got a sled? I'll take the sled, right? Like, I'll take the sled down, but I also need you to stop me before I hit the jump, right? Like, because that thing's pretty steep, right? So even on a sled, you're going to get some hang time. You're going to get some air.
Oh, yeah.
But seeing them and how they just fly through the air, it's one of the coolest things I watch. I think one of my other favorites, and I don't know why.
Can I guess it?
Of course you can, because I think you'll get it.
Curling?
Hell yeah!
I was gonna say I knew exactly where you were.
I feel
going.
like everybody has love for curling, mainly due to the fact that you're like, you know what? Me and my buddies, we could open some beers and we could go play that game. Right? You know what I mean? Like, not saying I'm gold medal or bronze medal or anything in between.
But it's like a giant game of shuffleboard.
Yeah,
we've all done that at some point in our lives, and it's fun. Like it looks like again something you could do. Looks like fun. It looks like a good time.
Yeah, you bust out a 6-pack or a case of beer with your buddies, and you just go out there and you.
Yeah.
But like you watch it and when you realize like there's actually a lot of skill involved with it, like how they actually do it, like in the guy that holds
sweeper,
holds the throw, almost all the way, and you're like, that looks really intense, but it also looks like why not make darts a part of the like that? Like that's like you said, shuffleboard, right? Like it's pretty much a giant shuffleboard on ice and shuffleboard, don't get me wrong, does require a certain level of skill, but like anybody can play shuffleboard. Pretty much anybody could go out and do curling. You're not going to compete at an Olympic level.
No, but it is hard to find curling places, and it is But you're right, it does. Every 4 years, it gains that momentum. It gains that something about it. So, I don't know.
Look, 2026 is a big year for sports, right? You got the Winter Olympics, you've got the World Cup, so you got some big international things going on. And then you got your typical major four sports in the U.S. I'm not somebody that's going to be glued to the TV watching the Winter Olympics. Like you said, it's more background noise, like gold medal matches and things like that. I'll watch the snowboarding competition when they're competing for the medals. I'll put on. But yeah, that long jump, that's the one that I watch, and I'm just every time I watch, like they all do the same exact thing, right? You know what I mean? It's not like they're doing like there's not tricks involved with it, right? It's like what's your form look like? It's kind of like diving, right? Like it's your form, your landing, like that's what they get scored on. And when you watch it from the naked eye, right, like they're pretty much all doing the same exact thing. But every time you watch it, you're just like, that's freaking nuts. Like that is just not. I mean, those guys are hundreds of feet off the ground when they hit the apex. Crazy. That's the one that gets my attention every time. I can't help it. I genuinely just get lost in it. But the curling is the one where like I could really sit there and like focus and be like, oh shit, is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? You know, so like that's the one that like gets me sucked in. And then the hockey, right? The hockey, as long as it's being played on hours that I can watch it, like I'm gonna watch some of the hockey games, especially when you get the USA Canada matchup, right? Like there's certain, Russia, USA, Finland, Sweden, like there's a couple countries that it's gonna be a great hockey game, and the game's a little. I wish Fife was with us because he could correct me if I was wrong on this, but I feel like the NHL, or not the NHL, the Olympic hockey rules are a little looser when it comes down to the physicality of the game. I could be wrong on that, but like I feel like it is.
I don't know about that.
Well, like I know the Olympics want to uphold this certain thing, but like in the U.S., like hockey's very much offensive driven, where I feel like they're a little more defensively driven throughout the rest of the world. I could be wrong.
I feel like it's more offensively driven because I feel like the NHL went more towards what the world's. I could be wrong on that too. So again,
definitely not a topic we're betting on. That's for sure.
This is where we would need. This is where we need the expertise of a Schmelrose who, for some reason, just can't get his phone hooked up in Saskatchewan to give us a call and clarify these things for us because, his expertise is second to none.
Well, I do want to shout out Carl Sr. in our chat. I paid attention this time, so before I even said anything or reacted, I looked at the username. I'm like, Carl Sr. Even pointed out. I'm like, I paid attention this time. Gave him a good laugh. So shout out to Carl Sr. Shout out to anybody else that's out there already listening to us, even if you're not in our chat. But yeah, I don't know about you. I mean, was our Olympics our little teaser?
I think that was the open.
Little YouTube only teaser.
Yeah,
right there.
Now we hit the music. We have some fun, and we get into the football of it because there's plenty to talk.
Plenty to talk about. It was a hell of a weekend. So I say we dive in.
Are we diving in?
I think we're diving. Let's dive in.
Am I still a chipmunk? Nope.
It's good to be back again.
So good to be back. Tuesday the 13th. Stephanie is officially 7 months old today.
Shout out.
7 months old, man. Holy shit.
And at least it's not Friday today.
No, she was just born on that. So that's going to stick with her the rest of her life. So, yeah, Friday the 13th. What's funny to me is neither me or Amanda are big horror people. So if she decides to go that route, it ain't going to be because of me, her mom, and me. So,
well, shout out.
Shout it out, man. She looks adorable. 7 months old, getting bigger on me. She's awesome. Dude, my favorite part though is I put football on and that little girl sits on the couch with me and she's just staring at the TV. Maybe grab something to chew on that she probably shouldn't be chewing on, but more than anything else, I put kid movies on, cartoons on, all the kid shows that they make where they're interacting, like They're right there in the room with the kids. My daughter could care less. I put football on, glued. Just glued. That girl gives me 7+ hours of enjoying football. She is all about it.
Enjoy it while you can, my friend. Enjoy it every weekend while you can.
And one day I'm going to turn her into a Cowboys fan, and she's going to hate me for the rest of her life. And I'm going to say I understand.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to.
Well, my other option is...
You can let her pick her own team. Like, you can just let it naturally happen. Like, you know, you don't need to. You can let her friends help shape her decision. No. She does not have to be a Cowboy.
Because if that girl ever walked in my house and said, "Fly, Eagles, fly," I'd pack a suitcase and tell her to find a new dad.
But again, that's one team. So, okay. So,
but what are the odds of the teams that she's going to be rooting for, right? Odds have it's Jets, Giants, or Eagles.
Or I got to tell you, as time's going on here, the Bills are very popular with the young generation. The Patriots are very popular with the young generation. Popular.
The Chiefs grabbed a lot of people over the last 5-6 years.
They could go a lot of directions other than the Eagles. I got to be honest. Like, there's a lot.
She will be disowned.
But I'm just telling you, I don't think she would go that route. I think she would go something else. But I just think that if you let her pick her own option, you may not like it because she may be a Giant fan. She may be a Jet fan because she's in this area, and maybe that's what you don't like.
That's my fear, though, right? My parents let me pick my team, and they were both Giant fans. So to drive them nuts, and because of my mom's best friend, Pete, shout out to Pete, I became a Cowboys fan.
But why doom and gloom her to a life of misery for the next 20+ years while Jerry's still alive?
Yeah, because that man's going to Walt Disney that shit.
Because she may not pick the Giants. She may not pick one of those teams. She may pick something completely different, but I think you have to let her make that decision. See, that was the thing is, I feel like my dad guided me, but I don't feel like he made the choice for me. Like, I think a lot of, like, my rooting interest came from watching games with him and things of that nature. But I got more enjoyment of watching things with him than rooting against him. So, like, maybe that's why I became more of a fan of those teams. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just a shit when I was a kid, man. My dad was a Knicks fan, so I went with the Bulls. My dad was a Rangers fan, I went with the Devils. My dad was a Yankee fan, I went with the Mets.
I mean, look, the way you went, it also happens. But you made your decision, and I think that's what you have to let Stephanie do.
And it did
help.
She's got to
make her own decision.
Right? It does help that, you know, when I'm at my most influential point of my life when it comes down to choosing a sports team, right? I got Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, 6 championships in 8 years, right?
And then you have the
Dallas Cowboys 3 championships in 4 years, right? The Devils, I was...
You know where you can catch those? On VHS, if you... I was gonna say go to your local Blockbuster, but
I think there's one Blockbuster left, and it's like in Alaska or some shit like that. Like I think there's literally like one Blockbuster location.
And I bet you they have a copy of the last Cowboys Super Bowl. So
I hate it here.
But that's gonna kick us off.
We start the show by saying it's so good to be back, and then he sends me down that rabbit hole.
And then we're starting
and it's not so good to be back.
Well, because I mean it's good to be back. But...
Knuckleheaded News of the Week.
And that's got to be, how the hell do the Steelers let Tomlin walk out the door? I know it's been 19 years. I know that the time and things have run their course. But you got to be kidding me. Like, the guy hasn't had a losing season in 19 years. You find a way to make it work for that man. Because that man's found a way to make it work for you. He's won you 1 Super Bowl. He's won you 7 division titles. I get it. He hasn't won a playoff game in the last 8 or 9 years, and that's the longest drought for a Steeler head coach ever to have. But guess what? They've only had 2 other head coaches. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're not dealing with a big sample size here.
It's not like 50 coaches. We're not talking about the Browns and their coaches. We're talking about Tomlin, who followed Cowher, who followed Knoll. You know what I mean? We're talking iconic names. This guy is going to go down as one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. 19 straight years of never having a losing year. The last 3 years with the Steelers, 10-7 each year. Not spectacular, but guess what? Getting the job done, getting to the playoffs every year. The guy knows how to win.
Especially considering the division.
He is a very good, solid head coach. And I got to be honest, last week I was saying throw the kitchen sink at Harbaugh. I'm telling you right now, Tomlin's over Harbaugh in my eyes.
Okay.
And it's mainly for age. Tomlin's 54 years old. There's a chance if he really wants to coach again and wants to, dude, give him all the power. If he doesn't want Shane, Shane's gone. Whatever it is, gone. Like, all right.
I was just the score. I'm like, wait, those games already happened. Sorry.
My bad. But yeah, no, but I mean, it's just one of those things where if you have the chance at a guy like that, I don't know. And again, same with Harbaugh. Like, I don't think you can go wrong. It's 1A and 1B. I think either brings you stability. The only thing that to me is a little bit more on the Tomlin side is age. But you back the truck up for both of these guys. Here's what I do. I literally call both of them and be like, hey, I need to see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Tell them both to show up at the same time. Get both of them in a room and be like, listen.
Duke it out.
who wants it? Either one of you can have it.
That makes me think of the scene from
who wants it?
From the Dark Knight Rises, where the Joker just breaks the pool cue down and is like, "All right, there's 3 of you. One of you is walking out." Like,
it's one of those moments where, like, because you gotta land one of these 2 guys, and I don't know exactly how it works with Tomlin because Tomlin kind of stepped down and resigned, so I think they retain his rights. So I think there would have to be actually some kind of trade. I could be wrong about that, but I think so because I think he was technically still under contract when he stepped down. Again, that's why I think it's a difference in the wording of stepping down versus firing.
I haven't had a chance to like dig into it, but
so he didn't get fired. I know that.
From what I have seen, it sounds more like Tomlin stepping down, and a lot of people think he's actually going to take a year away and just kind of have that breather.
But is that smart when there's some good jobs open?
Well, to me, it's not even that, right? It's the same as, like, you look at a Travis Kelce, right? Like, is Travis Kelce going to retire or not going to retire? Like, the season just ended for this guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to make any decisions. You got to figure at least a couple weeks, right? Let him spend time with his family. Let him have some time just to himself, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that with the way the NFL schedules things now, March starts free agency.
Oh, yeah, and the draft's 100 days from today.
You want to have your coach in place before free agency starts, before the draft, before those things get in motion, because otherwise you're
well, and that's the thing, though, right? For a Tomlin, for a Harbaugh, like
and if they want control, they want to come in and get his,
I agree, but I also think they're in a position where they get to take as much time as they want to take, right? Like, if a team really wants them, then you're going to wait for them. If a team doesn't think they should wait for him because they might go a different route or make another decision, then they're going to go with somebody else. I personally think if you're Tomlin or Harbaugh, like, you're really more in a position of power than desperation.
Oh, both are
right?
Totally in a position
so like
of power.
for them, right? Hey,
what's the benefit for them? Like, honestly, other than taking a couple weeks off to themselves, which the guys like them don't like to do anyway. Like, it's not in their nature.
I mean, my dad was retired for 3 weeks and he went and got a job. So
that's what I mean. Some guys are just wired like that. That's not how they don't want to go and sit.
Yeah.
They want to think, if I'm getting my next job, where am I getting it? Who's going to be my guy? Who's my quarterback? Who's this? Who's that? Like, that's what they're thinking about. And
they want to get to work.
They want to get to work. So get them in the building and get them to work. Let's go. Back the truck up. Whatever it is. Pay the man.
Back that Brinks truck up.
As the great John Malkovich once said, pay that man his money.
Yeah, I think I would lean Tomlin over Harbaugh as well, because the one both got one Super Bowl, right? 19 years, 18 years, so you're not talking much of a difference in longevity. I think the biggest difference is Tomlin got more out of less.
Yes.
Right? Harbaugh has had some really talented teams. Tomlin had, 2, maybe 3 years of prime Ben Roethlisberger and got a Super Bowl out of that. Think of the quarterbacks that he's had as his starting quarterback over the last, let's say, 8 seasons.
Well, in the last 5, he's had 5 different starting quarterbacks the last 5 season openers.
That I mean, that right there, right? And you still manage to stay above 500.
From Kenny Pickett to Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers to, I mean, the list goes on and on.
There are guys that he had as his starting quarterback that aren't even in the league anymore. Okay, and this man found a way to get his team to better than 500 every single year, or 500 or better, right? He's won the division titles with Mason Rudolph, right? Like, I mean, come on. He's done more with less. He's gotten more out of less talent than probably really any coach you can look at in the league right now. So I would agree, right? If I'm doing a pecking order as the Giants specifically, right? Who do I want more? I want Tomlin, right? Because if Dart is our guy, right, that basically means I'm giving one of the best coaches over the last pretty much 20 years a franchise quarterback for over a decade, which he literally has never had.
No, no, because he had Roethlisberger for a while.
So Roethlisberger was drafted in 2004.
And played till...
And played till 20... No, he's been... Well...
2019, that's what I mean. Like, a solid portion of what Tomlin did was under Roethlisberger.
But I'm talking, like, in his prime. When Roethlisberger was in his prime was when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But, so, like, you had an aging Roethlisberger. Then you went to the shit show that it's been for the last handful of years or so. You had...
No,
I mean, let's think of the guy, right? You had Le'Veon Bell, who was this amazing player and then lost his shit. You found a way to make it work without him, right? You had Antonio Brown, Santonio Holmes. Like, you had all these guys that were like these amazing, and they lost their shit.
Well, yeah.
And then you...
Well, AAB lost his shit because after that, I'll tell you what, he was never the same human being after he got hit by Vontaze Burfict or whatever his name is.
Oh, Burfict, yeah.
In that game against Cincinnati where he got crushed over the middle, like, AB's never been the same human being since then. He got knocked into a different dimension. He's a different person altogether now.
To say the least.
Like, honest to God, like he's in a world all his own. So, but yeah, then you look at Santonio Holmes, you look at Plaxico Burress, you look at there's a lot of guys who've come through there. But again, he knew when to dump them.
George Pickens. Right? Like,
but they've known when to dump guys. They've known when to when to sign guys. Like, look, DK Metcalf this year had a great year. You know what I mean? Like, they make the right moves and they get a lot out of their guys. So I don't know. Like, again, it's a 1A, 1B situation, and I'm sorry, but Stefanski, you're a distant C.
Yeah, at this point.
You're a distant B, and then everybody else is a C.
And I know you don't want this to happen. And,
the Giants are signing Stefanski. As much as I hate it, and I'm begging them to sign Tomlin or Harbaugh, and I'm telling you, I will promise you I will make it okay in my mind with either Tomlin or Harbaugh, we're ready to rock. If we end up with Stefanski, I'm gonna be like, damn, this is where I thought we'd be, because this is it. Like, this is prime Giants. The Giants have always been one coaching cycle off. They've never really been able to get the guy. Like, the guy has always been like one cycle either before them or after them. This is a cycle where they have a chance to get one of two guys.
Yeah.
If you don't get one of two guys and you fall back on, Stefanski's won 2, Coach of the Year awards, meh. Then I got to be honest. I could come to reason with it in my head. If you somehow fumble the ball and cannot land any of these three coaches, like, it should be Harbaugh or Tomlin. If it's not, and you somehow screwed it up,
go hire a special teams coach
again. If you
again.
can't even get Stefanski, then you should sell the damn team, and I'm going to get on that bus. Because I just don't know what to do with you. Because there's just not a coordinator out there. There's not anybody out there that you're looking at right now that you're like, oh my God, that's the guy. No, there's two guys, and it's Tomlin or Harbaugh.
What I think would be the ultimate fall off my couch laughing moment would be if Harbaugh goes to the Steelers and Tomlin goes to the Ravens. That would be my ultimate. I don't think it's going to happen. Just to be very clear here, I don't think that's what's going to happen. But that would just be some funny shit. That would be some funny shit.
I got to be honest. I think Tomlin got out because he knows that there's too much to fix with the Steelers. They have no quarterback. They have DK Metcalf's on the older side of his career. They don't have their running game is good but not great.
They need
have
a lot of
aging
work.
pieces. They with the TJ Watt's fantastic, but he's hurt a bunch.
Yeah, and he's like third. I mean, I hate to say 31, 32 is old, but it's old in the NFL.
It is, and I just think that you look at it and it's a team that needs a lot of work. And I don't think that he was like, listen, I'm not going for a total.
All the Steeler fans, all the Steeler fans that have been out there screaming that Tomlin needs to go. Every single one of them. They're about to get welcomed into the school of hard knocks, right? They're going to learn how lucky and how good they actually had it. Now, yes, I understand. Not having a playoff win the last 7 times you've made it, I understand that. That's frustrating. I understand not having only one Super Bowl with a coach like this over 19 years is frustrating. I get that. But if they don't get the right guy, which is going to be really hard to do. Like I don't see you going from Tomlin and going up, right? Maybe laterally if you're lucky, but you're not improving. I just don't see it happening with the options that are out there. But then again, let's keep in mind, right? 19 years ago or 20 years ago, when the Steelers hired Tomlin, he was a cornerback coach, a secondary coach for the Minnesota Vikings. He was not on anybody's candidate list for head coaching positions. He was considered by teams for defensive coordinator positions. And the Steelers were like, that's our guy. And they nailed it. So can the Steelers do it again? Of course they can. What are the odds, though? Pretty freaking slim. And if they don't get it right, Steelers fans are in for a really, really rough go for the next couple of years that they haven't experienced. Probably for the most of them their entire life.
Ever.
Like, Chuck Noll had a couple rough years, but the majority of his years were pretty damn good. And if I remember correctly, he got him, 4 Super Bowls? 5 Super Bowls? 4? And Cowher got 1, and then Tomlin got 1. Yeah, so they got 6, right? So, I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for, right? And that there's going to be a lot of Steeler fans out there that I get a feeling by the end of next year are going to be, holy shit, we miss Mike Tomlin. And
give it 2-3 years, they're going to be begging for the glory days of Tomlin.
Yeah. So
because they don't know what a losing season is, and guess what? Giants have had many, many, many of them over the last 12 years or so.
Yeah, I know. I've been there with
the
you
Giants
for a lot
and the
of it.
Jets are the 2 worst franchises in the last 12 years. It's awful. I mean, it's just awful. And not that I wish that on the Steelers. But do not put yourself in the hell that we put ourselves in by forcing. Fans. And listen, I was one of those guys saying Coughlin had ran his course. And guess what? I'm one of those guys now wishing for the days of Coughlin again. So I'm just gonna say, be wary of what you're doing there. We're the Steelers, and I know you think you know, but it's gonna be hard to pull another rabbit out of the hat like that. And I mean, I know they've done it couple times now, but
well, that's the thing too, right? Like that's the big thing that the Giants have had, right? They've had so many issues that you couldn't ride out a couple rough seasons with the head coach, right? Like you couldn't say, no, we see the light at the end of the tunnel because you didn't feel like there was a light, right? Tomlin stepped into a really good football team that Cowher helped put together, and he continued to keep them good for almost 2 decades. Enjoy it, because you don't know what's ahead of you. And like they say, right, grass ain't always greener on the other side. So I'm curious to know. I think this kind of paints a clear picture. I don't think you're going to see Rodgers come back. I mean, even if he doesn't retire, I don't see him going back to Pittsburgh unless they're literally like, you're going to help us pick the next head coach, which I don't. Pittsburgh's one of those organizations. I don't think they let anybody influence the picks, what they do, except for the people that they hire.
Oh,
to
and
help
you're not
them.
letting a guy at 43 years old or 44 years old make those decisions.
I mean, and you saw it. Look, that Texans defense is just out of this world good. I mean, they literally rushed 4 all night. That's all they did. They rushed 4, they dropped 7 all night long. The only mix was man or zone. All they did was rush 4. Rodgers can't get away from anybody.
No, he's
so
a snatcher.
Rodgers' only place for him is going to be a place with a very, very good offensive line, and I don't think most of the teams in the NFL that have a very good offensive line are currently looking for a quarterback, at least a 42-year-old one, because they think they're that one guy away. Maybe the Colts, maybe. Maybe you go him instead of Daniel Jones. I don't know. But to me, that game last night was a very clear picture that it was time for Rodgers to move on. I thought Tomlin was going to do the last year of his contract. I didn't expect him to step down. That was a little bit of a surprise today, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting I'd say next 10 days. I think you'll see all these openings get filled up, and it'll be interesting. Tomlin will at least take a day or two to decide if he's going to coach or take a break, but a lot of things I saw is that there's a good chance Tomlin takes a year off. He milks that TV money and then gets back into it.
Maybe, but again, if there's an opportunity with a team, again, there's interesting teams out there. Well, again, I know as a Giant fan, I like to think as the Giants is interesting with Dart, Scabo, and then all the pieces they have on defense. You come in, you can add a few more, you can tweak a few things, but they have talent. Yeah. Another team with talent is, believe it or not, the Raiders. The Raiders have Brock Bowers, who was Rookie of the Year last year. Genty, who we know just wasn't used at all right this year, so yeah, he's fresh.
Tomlin would love to use him.
He's fresh for next year, I can tell you, fresh for a new guy. And I'm hearing that the Raiders could be a good landing spot, possibly for like an A.J. Brown. So add up some pieces there. All of a sudden, that looks like a pretty good roster.
They got the number 1 overall pick.
You have the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, ready to roll. And then you have Miami. Like, I'd say those are probably your top 4.
I think a lot of people like Atlanta. They definitely have the defense.
Atlanta maybe in the top 5?
Have the defensive Rookie of the Year. The kid set the franchise sack record for rookies. He ended the season.
Which, by the way, can we just take a real quick side note here? Sack record, Myles Garrett. Yes, I'm going to sit here and say it's the record. Yes, I'll acknowledge he has the record. But I want people to acknowledge it was done in 18th week of the season in game number 17. I feel like the record would have had more validity had he would have gotten it in week 17 than week 18.
If it helps you,
that's where I stand. And I know that I'm biased because I'm a Giant fan. And I get it.
If it helps, he did it in less snaps than Strahan. Even with the extra game, he did it in less.
It doesn't
he
help
did it in
because
less
it's still
snaps.
an extra game. It's still an extra game.
But he did it in less plays.
But if this was 10 years ago, he doesn't get the record. Just facts.
Well, if it was 10 years ago, he would have played more snaps, and then he maybe still gets the record.
You never know that, though. You don't know.
No, you don't know that. But either way,
he is a sack record.
Look, I like Myles Garrett just because, and this is legitimately the only reason why I love Myles Garrett. Every Halloween, have you seen how he decorates his house for Halloween? Every Halloween, he puts out a headstone with the name of the quarterback that he sacked. So this coming Halloween, he'll have like literally every quarterback he's sacked in his career.
Yeah.
So he has like 40 headstones on his front yard, and each one has the name of a different quarterback that he sacked. I saw that and I'm like, I like this guy. He's good in my book. Like, it's one of those little things that you just have some fun with, right? Like, you're not being a dick, right? You're not being a jerk to people. Like, you're just having a little bit of fun with it. Like,
no, but ever since because wasn't he the one involved in the Mason Rudolph incident?
Yeah, when he took the helmet off and railed him with it. Yeah,
that's I didn't like that. I'll be honest.
You shouldn't use a helmet as a weapon. I understand that.
You know what I mean? So he lost.
It wasn't my head.
Brownie points. In my eyes.
It wasn't my head, and it wasn't my quarterback. So I moved past that one. The headstone thing, I just thought it was hysterical. Like Romo's on there, Prescott's on there. Like, so it's not just like AFC North quarterbacks. It is literally every quarterback he's ever sacked. So just a big fan of that. Really, really like that he does that, but. That's the thing, right? The NFL is filled with headlines going on, right? And then you still have the games, right? I thought it was a great weekend. Every game was, I thought it was crazy going into at the 2-minute warning of the San Francisco Philly game. San Fran has the lead, and they announce a stat where so far for this playoffs, up until that moment, every team who had the lead at the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter lost. And my buddy's a Niners fan, so I texted him. Shout out to Erich. I texted him, and I was just like, so just so you know, this is the NFL playoffs so far this year. How you feeling? He sent me the one emoji where the dude's breathing in and out of the paper bag. I'm like, I feel you, right? And I was rooting for him because, screw the Eagles. And this week I'm rooting against the 49ers, and the Steelers are out now, so.
Fuck the Eagles.
Exactly, right? So I'm rooting against the Niners, and I'm rooting against the Patriots. Once the two of them are out, open field. I'm all good with it. I don't care who wins, right? Because I'm sitting here as a Cowboys fan, like, we got 5 rings. Pittsburgh's got 6. San Francisco's got 6.
See, why you gotta be?
New England's got 7.
Why you gotta be petty like that? Why can't you think like? Why you gotta care about what the next team's got? Why don't you just worry about what's in your trophy case?
Because my team,
why are you so worried about the other trophy case? How about you improve your team
far away?
So you can add to your trophy
case. If I could improve my team, I would. I have no power over that. So I only have power over who I root for or root against. So that's all. If they win or they go win a Super Bowl, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm not going to be angry about it. But Dallas feel like a pretty long way away from getting another Lombardi trophy. So I really don't want these other teams to pull further and further away from them. That's all. That's all. I genuinely enjoyed those years where Dallas was tied for the most Super Bowls in NFL history. They were fun. That's about all I had fun-wise when it came to Super Bowls in the last 30 years of my life is, well, at least Dallas is tied for the most Super Bowls, and that's over. And that's literally been done for a while. So, it's the little things in life. It's sports. What do you want me to tell you? But overall, I thought it was a great weekend. I thought last night's game was really boring, and that Patriots-Chargers game was really boring. I kept telling my buddy who wanted to put money on the Chargers to win. He's like, oh, they're going to New England and they're winning. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, it's literally not happening. I promise you. Like, that Chargers offense will not be able to handle that New England defense. And what happened? They couldn't handle the New England defense. And then their offensive coordinator gets fired for it. So, there you are, right? Your offensive line's beat to shit. Hey, let's fire the offensive coordinator. But, I mean, I don't know if there's, anything specific about any of the games from this past weekend.
Listen, I thought the Panthers fought a lot harder than people gave them credit for. They were a double-digit member. They were, I think it was 10.5. The Rams were favored by.
And we refused to take that. We both were like, no freaking way.
Because we knew the Panthers were a better team than that. So I'm glad to see them fight. They're going to retain Bryce Young for a 5th-year option. So see if they're back next year. And see if they could build off of what they've done this year, winning that division. But
their D coordinator is getting some interviews for head coaching spots as well.
Yeah, well, listen, their defense played really well. So not well enough to win this game, but
it's funny you say their D played really well. They gave up 34, but in today's NFL, I think every over hit.
Pretty much. Yeah. Remember, I was telling you.
Yeah, you're like, I'm pulling for points. I'm like, wow, 1 or 2 of these unders are going to hit, but.
No, and then, listen, I think that I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I gave you my prediction last week. So far, my prediction is still out there because I picked San Fran and I picked the Bills. My 2 teams starting the playoffs who I thought were going to make the Super Bowl. And right now, I'm feeling okay about San Fran, although the loss of Kittle, just how much life do you need to take from people, Christian McCaffrey, to make this season? But they keep winning. So listen, he takes the life, but Kittle, he's just a fun guy to watch. He's a fun guy on the field. I feel like losing him, you're losing at part entertainment. And, that's why, to me, as a football fan, you just don't want to see a guy like that go down.
And you're also losing one of your leaders in the locker room. There's no doubt that, the owner of the Niners was the first one in the locker room to see him.
They may get Fred Warner back, though.
That would be...
So they've opened that whatever
the 21-day practice window. Yeah,
so they've opened that window for him. So there's a chance. So
that'd be huge.
Bills Jaguars another team though that I thought fought really hard, really well. A team that was impressive all year long, and
they beat up on Josh Allen. The Bills had to earn those 27 points,
and they earned it. And listen, this has got to be the Bills' year, but. Things are looking up for Jacksonville. Things are looking up for that whole AFC South division because, you look at it, I mean, Indy started off real strong. If it wasn't for Daniel Jones going down when he did,
They're right
who
there for
knows
the
what?
division.
They're
Yeah.
probably in the playoffs, as is. And then you got the Jaguars and the Texans. I mean, it's a tough division. It's a tough division.
It is.
So,
and
it's getting better.
I think when you look at that game overall, that was a game where you could just tell that like the Bills team as a whole at some point was like, we can't lose this game. Like we just can't. And it like there's
That's what I mean. Now they're going to go to Denver. You can't lose in Denver. You can't lose to a second-year Bo Nix who's on the up and coming. I get it. I get you're on the road. It's mile high. There's a different type of atmosphere there. You have to come in prepared for this game. You have to come in ready. You have to win. The Bills do not have a better opportunity than they have right now.
Completely agree. Speaking of opportunities, though, I mean, we kind of blew past it, right? But I think the Chargers-Patriots game went exactly how it was expected. I think Texans-Steelers pretty much went exactly how it was expected. What I find crazy is the Texans had 2 defensive touchdowns. They had 5 turnovers on offense. C.J. Stroud had 3 fumbles lost. He threw 2. Like, their offense did everything they could to give the game to Pittsburgh, and the Texans' defense was like, no, this is us. But the game that, like, if I'm a fan of any of the teams that played this weekend, those Green Bay fans have to still to this day be sick to their stomach. That game was theirs. 21-6, like 24-9, I think. But you have a kicker miss 2 field goals, miss an extra point, and you lose by 3 points. Make one of those field goals and that extra point, and that game is yours. Like, if I'm a Packers fan, I'm sick to my stomach of losing that game. And it wasn't a one thing. They collapsed as a whole. Offensively, they got stagnant. Defensively, they couldn't stop Chicago from moving the ball in the second half. Special teams, missing field goals and the extra point, right? Like, all 3 phases of the game, they just completely collapsed over the last, I would say, like 18, 20 minutes of the game. Like, they just completely collapsed, and Chicago just kept grinding, and they made a couple plays, and those couple plays were just enough to get that win. But the last time Dallas was in the playoffs, right? And Dallas, Dan Quinn, and they're one of the top defenses in the league. They're blitz heavy, man heavy, and Dan Quinn decides to change his entire defensive scheme and play zone coverage and not blitz schemes and not do all this. You're dropping Micah Parsons to play zone coverage, and Dallas got blown the hell out. And that was the first game in a very long time that sat with me for a while, because I was like, you went away from what got you here, and you can't do that, right? If you're gonna lose doing the same thing that got you in the position to be in the playoffs in the first place. Don't say, well, the way this team plays, I'm going to completely change my defensive philosophy. No. You lose how you play. Like, that's what your team knows. That's what your players know. That's what your fans, like, go out swinging. Don't go out like, oh, you're not Muhammad Ali, right? You're not bouncing on the ropes, letting the guy tire himself out. That's how football works. Like, so like if I'm a Packers fan, which I enjoyed every second of them losing, but either way, like, that loss is going to sit with me for a pretty long time. Like that the Packers, maybe out of every team that got eliminated either this weekend or prior to the playoffs, if I'm a Packers fan is probably going to be the most desperate to get to next season than any other fan out there, because that's a loss that should never have even happened, and it shouldn't have happened. So like, that sits with you. You know what I'm talking about as a fan. Like, those losses where your team is I'm sure you're still pretty frustrated with the Giants beating the Raiders, right? That's a win, and you could still be pissed off about it.
I'm still frustrated with the Giants beating Dallas, like, and I should be happy with that. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, subtraction by addition. We actually lost four spots in the draft by winning
one game.
So it's like, yay, and for the win column, but that doesn't matter when you only win 3 games. You know what I mean? The moral victories aren't really moral victories anymore. It's just sad. Slow around sadness.
Yeah, but you get it, right? The players aren't going to tank. Coaches aren't going to tank. Their jobs, their livelihood, their futures are on the line. As
No,
a
but the
fan,
difference is
tank.
The Dallas didn't tank either. You know what Dallas did? They just didn't play their starters.
Put
And
the
if you
less
wanna tell
talented
me-
guys out
If you want to
there.
tell me it was a second team versus second team and we just somehow pulled it out, then great. I'm happy for our second team guys, but we didn't play Jameis Winston in the second team. We played Jackson Dart. We played every starter we could and rammed it right up your cookie. That's what we did. Because we're the Giants and we care about beating the Cowboys more than we care about draft position.
I mean, look, you know, the 5th overall pick with some of that young talent still could be enough to attract Harbaugh or Tomlin. So I think you guys, personally to me, that the Ravens and then the Giants are my top 2 teams I'm looking at if I was up for a head coaching job. But I will say, it did set up for a really good divisional round. I think we got some good matchups.
We'll start with Saturday.
I mean, it does come before Sunday, so it's probably a good place to start.
We could go backwards, though.
I mean, we could, but between me and you, I feel like at some point we'd get confused and think we're picking a Thursday game.
Probably. Although neither of these look like Thursday games, so thankfully.
Oh, no.
So you got Bills at Broncos. Broncos only given 1.5. Over-under is, 46.5 there? So, I mean, looking at it, we're give me the Bills all the way. Give me the Bills getting the 1.5. Give me the Bills because they got to win this game. So, and 1.5 is practically a pick 'em, but give me the Bills all the way. And then give me the over, too, because I'm rooting for some more points.
Oh, man.
I just don't think the Broncos are there yet. I got to
I
be
don't-
honest.
I don't think they are either.
That's what it comes down to for me. Maybe in a year or two, I could say, hey, Allen's starting to get over the hill. Bo Nix is on the up and coming. Maybe I would have a different...
did tell you when we did the season preview to watch out for Denver this year, though. I did tell you. Bo Nix, with his second year with Sean Payton, one thing Sean Payton can do is get the most out of a quarterback. He may not do everything great, but he can get the most out of a quarterback, and he definitely has gotten the most out of Bo Nix so far. Either way, right? That was so monotone. We got to add a little more energy and volume to this voice. But I'm with you, but I'm taking the under. I think I'll take the the Bills getting the 1.5. You got perfect football weather, right? 52 degrees, partially sunny.
Tell me you can't see another 27-24 game right here. Like, that's where I'm at.
That's really not far-fetched.
That's why I picked the over.
Even 27-21 still puts you at the over, and I don't see either team being held under 20. Ooh, I think you got me on that one.
Even 24-23 get you there.
Then we miss on Denver Bills getting 1.5.
No, they're getting the 1.5. So
Oh, right. I see. This is why I don't bet. I get myself
and
confused
actually,
with this shit.
we'd win both ways there if it was 24-23.
All right, you sold me. He sold me, ladies and gentlemen. We're going clean sweep on this one. We're going Bills getting the 1.5, and we're going to go with the over. Champs cast. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I actually really like that one. The 49ers at Seahawks. This game, I mean, they played this, their third matchup of the year. I mean, there's no...
They played Thursday of week 17. They played the last Thursday night game of the year.
Divisional matchups. They know these teams know each other inside now. What it comes down to is, can Christian McCaffrey possibly suck any more life out of this team and get them past this round, or are Seahawks going to do what they've done all year and just prove people wrong and outlast teams like the Rams, outlast teams like the 49ers to go on and win the division and get that number 1 seed? It has been a Sam Darnold resurgence since he got with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell there. He has been a different type of quarterback. I mean, obviously, got out of jet hell.
Good
got
for
out
him,
got
right?
out of Carolina, like purgatory. Like, got out of the purgatory places and finally got to a place that could use some talent, and he's been able to thrive. But been a success story. Like, honestly.
And you got good for him. He's never seemed like there's never been a reason to hate Sam Darnold, right? There's never been a reason to dislike the guy. And you know, sometimes your surroundings aren't where you're supposed to be. Minnesota was a great spot, and I think what O'Connell really did was he kind of paved the pathway for him, right? So when you go to Seattle, you're able to go to the coaches there and say, hey, these are the things that we did in Minnesota that worked really well for me, why we had the success we had. Like, can we please implement things like this? And the coaches in Seattle were like, let's freaking go, right? Like, they didn't sit there. Like, I always hate that idea that players have to learn how to fit your scheme. You should, to me, the best coaches mold their scheme to fit their players, right? Yeah, you have things that you believe in, and you will die on that hill, right? Like, shout out to our old show name. But the reality is, if you want to win, you have to be able to adjust to fit your people's needs. Even with me, right? I've got my team of people. I have my way of how I would go about selling our solution and going through our process. When I first became a manager in my first year, we started off really, really bad. And it wasn't until I had a training where they talked about how you have to realize that every person has to be trained differently. Every person has to be addressed differently. Some people respond well to hard, tough love and criticism and pushing. Other people need to be a little more coddled and babied and handheld, right? Like, you have to figure out what your people need to get the most out of them, even if it's not how you would do your thing, right? So it doesn't matter if it's football or life. It's just how it works. And they've done that with Darnold in Seattle, but that defense has been out of its mind all year long. Literally all year long. And I love seeing it because of DeMarcus Lawrence. You got the hell out of Dallas and went somewhere that actually put you in a position to consistently succeed. So I'm very happy to see him have success there. I look at this game and I'm going with Seattle, but I'm taking Seattle money line, San Francisco getting the 7.5 because I just don't see this being
a
two possession game.
No,
like this is a one score game, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. It's a one score game.
To me, I feel like the Kittle injury moved this line. It
probably did.
It had to have, because this is a monster line for a divisional game where both of these teams know each other. Like, a 7.5, I wouldn't have put this if you would have told me that the Giants were playing the Eagles. Like, 7, I would be like,
in a playoff game, divisional round, that's too much.
It's too much. So in that respect, I think you are absolutely right.
But I will take the over. I don't think I said that part. I might not have. I might have. But I'm taking the over, taking Seattle money line, San Fran getting 7.5.
I think this is Christian McCaffrey's last stand. He's doing everything he can to have one healthy push at a title. And if he doesn't get his opportunity now, he may never get it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he'd suck the life out of all of San Francisco.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he would have done that. At that point, like, he would have taken everybody he could take down.
Get him the Infinity Gauntlet.
You know what I mean? Like, Fred Warner, Kittle, Bosa. Purdy was down for a while. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally, like...
Purcell, the wide receiver. Ayuk can't come back.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's literally taken all of the life force. If you cannot win this year, you are not destined to win. So for that reason and that reason only, I'm sticking with my Super Bowl prediction pick and going with the 49ers to win. 49ers get the 7.5, and I'm rooting for points to give me the over. 44.5, our number of the season.
I will say... Oh, right. Good catch. I didn't even notice that. I will say this. I think if San Francisco wins this game, the under hits. I think that's the only way they win this game. I think if Seattle puts up over 21 points, I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to keep up because that defense in Seattle is too good. So I think if San Fran wins, it's the over. I think if Seattle wins, it's the under. I know that has nothing to do with actually picking the game. Like I said, I'm taking San Fran getting the 7.5, Seattle money line, and the over. But I genuinely think if San Fran's going to win this game, the under has to hit. That would be my 2 cents on us getting the under.
Over anyway.
Yeah, no, we're with it.
Sticking with it.
All right, so we clean swept the
first
game. We split the second game. Texans at Patriots.
You're going first on this one.
This is an interesting one. New England given 3 points, over under 40.5.
Twins on a neutral field, they'd have this game even.
The Texans' defense is going to keep them in any game they play.
But New England's defense is no slouch either.
Well, New England's defense is probably right around that level of Pittsburgh's defense, maybe a touch below.
I mean, Texans' defense?
No, I'm sorry, the Steelers from this past, right? Because the Steelers held them to 7 points in the first half, right? So, like, that's what I mean. Like, I could see this being, a 6-6, 7-7, like, low score, 6-3 game going into half. I'm gonna go with
lowest over under so far too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with New England, and the reason for that is because CJ Stroud just has not done enough for me to trust him to make a play when he has to make a play. He did make 1 or 2 last night against Pittsburgh, but New England has the ability to make plays. The two-headed monster running back with Stevenson and what's the other kid? Henderson, right? They've got Stephon Diggs on the outside. They've got reliable tight ends. No greatness at tight end, but reliable tight ends. But Drake May has played at an MVP level all season. His scrambling ability and his willingness to scramble, where CJ Stroud can run, but he really tries to sit in the pocket. So give me New England giving the 3 points and give me the under.
All right. This game's tough for me to pick because I really like the Texans D. You know me, I'm Bama guy. Will Anderson, one of the leaders on that defense.
Monster.
He's a monster. And I knew he was going to be coming out of college. He was a monster at Bama too. That said, ooh, this one is the toughest one of them all for me to pick.
Just remember,
the next one's easy. The next one I'm gonna fly through. This one here is the one where I'm scratching my head going, I keep underestimating the Patriots, and I keep kicking myself every time I do, because every time I do, I sit there and I go, but they have Vrabel, and they have so much other talent on that team that it's really not that far-fetched they are where they are. And I look at the Texans, and I really like a lot of that, what they've done, but on offense, I don't think, and it's weird to say this, but I don't think they're as stable as the Patriots are on offense.
That's why I went the way I went. I trust New England's offense to make more plays, even against that Texans defense, than I trust the Texans offense to make plays against that Patriots defense.
But
and it sets up a Patriots-Bills AFC Championship game, which
but
the
this
NFL
is where I
love.
think my bias and my just overall dislike for this is where it is. It is a bias. I'm sorry it's coming in, but it is, and I'm not going to deny it because I'm taking the Texans. Give me the Texans, getting the 3. Give me the Texans on the money line. I think they got a chance to go to New England and win this game. I think they have the defense that can do it. And I'm going with. I should take the under, but I'm going to go with the over.
Because you root for points.
As I root for points.
No hatred there. All I'll say to you is this. You being the man that introduced to me the phrase tinfoil hat. You think the NFL rather Bills Texans or Bills Patriots?
Bills Patriots. Okay.
We're getting Bills Patriots. All right. Well, you said you're going to fly through this one, so let me do the intro. I'll let you pick, and then I'll hop in. So, Rams at Bears, 6:30 NBC. We're finally at the point on the East Coast where you don't got to stay up till midnight to watch a football game. Those days are over until September. Rams giving 3.5, even though they're on the road. Over under 48.5. Eric, what say you?
Rams all the way. So give me the Rams on the money line. Give me the Rams giving 3.5, and give me the over because I think they're going to go in and absolutely just beat the piss out of the Bears. I think they're going to mollywop them. I think they are going to absolutely.
So if this was 10.5, would you still take the Rams?
No.
Okay.
But I think it's.
You just think the game's going to look very one-sided.
I think it's going to be a 2-possession game.
Okay.
I think it could end up being a 2-possession game.
Okay. Look, I think experience is going to really help the Rams. I think that's probably part of why the Rams are favored in this game. And I'm going to take the Rams on the money line. But I'm going to take the Bears getting the 3.5 because I think this is a field goal game. And the reason I say that is the one thing I will give this Bears team, they play all 60 minutes. You saw that in the Green Bay game. If Green Bay played 60 minutes instead of 42, they probably win that game.
Put that tinfoil hat back on for a second.
Okay.
Because the matchup then you're giving the NFL, which you tell me if the NFL really wants this. Bills, Patriots, and
Rams, Seahawks.
Hell
yeah.
You have 2 divisions. That's it. You have 2 divisions of fans that give a shit. Like, I don't know if they want that. I think they might want a little bit more diversity in the Final Four rather than just the NFC West versus the AFC East.
Last year was the NFC East versus, what was it, Charger, or what was last year's AFC Championship game? Chiefs.
But that's one-sided. I'm saying this would be both sides of that. Like, I think I think it's too much. So I think one of these games is going to split.
I think
that's the Texans game because I think the Bills are on a mission.
I think it's going to be Rams Seahawks and Bills Patriots, and yeah, but I'll take the Rams money line. I'll take the Bears getting the 3.5, but I am with you on the over.
Hold on, wait. So you want a butterbean slap on this? Because I think we should. I think we should have a butterbean slap on this.
But what's the slap? Because we're both picking the Rams to win.
No. That you think that that it's going to be an AFC East versus NFC West title. I'm saying it's going to be it could be a combination, but it's going to be 3 out of the 4.
I mean, I already had Rams Bills in the Super Bowl. That was my pick. You have 49ers Bills in the Super Bowl.
But I'm just saying, I don't think that because I'm picking the Texans. So again, I have a team that's different than the 4. So what I'm proposing is, you're so confident in those 4 teams making it,
okay,
that you think it's going to be those 2 divisions. If it's anything but an AFC East versus NFC West pure matchup for the title, I win. If it's that pure matchup, you win.
See,
so if it's,
that I can't agree with, right? Because the only way that doesn't happen is if the Texans win or the Bears win. That's the only way it doesn't happen. Because you're going to have an NFC West team either way, Seattle, San Fran. No matter what, you got an NFC West team there, right? You've already got the Bills, so you have one AFC East team.
But you don't have the Bills yet because they may get beat by the Broncos. So
but we both have the Bills winning. That's what I'm saying. So the only place we actually differ is the Patriots-Texans game. So if we're going to do this, then we have to really make it based off of that game.
No, I want to do it based off of the matchup because that's what I'm saying. Because we talked about the tinfoil hat.
But we're on the
same.
We're in the same picks for 3 out of the 4 games. The only game we differ is the Texans-Patriots game.
Yes, but I'm saying I don't want to pick that one. I want the extra odds of.
It increases your chances, not mine. I'm not putting the odds in your favor.
Why not?
Because you get 2 games, I get 1. How's that fair? Well, if anything, we have to do it over the Texans Patriots.
Because you got the team that's the favorites, and then you're technically the guy that's
I will only agree to it if we say it's the Texans or Patriots. I'm not agreeing to it if it's just that, because then all you need is the Bears to win. You need any of the games other than the 49ers Seahawks game to go the opposite way for you to win.
One of those games is guaranteed for you, though. So I need one of the other 3 games to go the other way.
That's my point. Yeah. So I need 4 for 4. I have to go. You don't have to get any of them right. That's not fair at all. You just want to slap me with the butterbean gloves.
Yeah, I did.
Look, you sleep on it. If you want to say it's for the Texans Patriots game,
I don't want to say that because again,
you're not getting an agreement out of me on that one.
I'm not taking the Texans on the money line for a slap. So I'm not that confident in it.
Like I literally have to go 4 for 4 for me to be right. 4 for 4 for me to be right. You literally just need me to be wrong on 1 game. It don't work.
Here's an idea. Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
I ain't Clark Griswold, and we ain't in Vegas. Ain't happening. So if you decide before next week's show,
I'm not. No, it's not happening.
Okay.
Not happening.
All right.
Not
So
happening. I'm telling you because I'm not that confident in the Texans. That's the one game this week I had the toughest picking. So
he's like, all right, Dave, you need to pick 4 for 4 perfectly. And it doesn't matter how my picks go.
You need to pick pretty much 3 for 3. Because the one game.
Because we're the one game. Yeah, the one game. So yeah. So I have to pick perfect, and it don't matter.
So who did you have in the Super Bowl again? Or both?
I got
still alive,
yeah,
right?
I got the Rams and the Bills,
All right.
and you have the Niners and the Bills.
Butterbean slap on whoever's teams make it to the Super Bowl.
And if we neither,
then there's no slap.
I think if there's no slap, then we should let Janice and Amanda slap us.
If we could get Amanda here to slap you, I'm sure she would do it.
Yeah, they've earned the right.
We could do it.
They've earned the right. Well, if anything, if I can't get her here, I can record a video of her slapping me with something, and then we can post it on our Facebook page. So
I'll send you home with the buffer.
There,
Like the buffer. Smack you with that.
Either way, I think we're going to have a really good weekend of football. I think the Texans-Patriots game, when it comes down to entertainment and back and forth and, all that, probably going to be the least entertaining game. But for those diehard football fans, it's going to be a great game. You're going to have a defensive battle with some big plays on offense that make the difference on who advances and whose season's over. So, I mean, I haven't seen my team get past this round in 30 years. So, for all of you that are rooting for people playing this weekend, enjoy it, because I don't remember what it feels like to win this weekend.
Well, way to bring us all down there, Dave.
Well, I mean, I feel like most people that watch or listen to us are probably like, well, you asked for this shit. That's on you.
Stop it. Get some help.
What we need to do is I need you to make a little
cheat
sheet for me on which one's which, but give each one a number value. So if I'm going to do something like that, I could be throw up a 2 for you. So you're already ready. So you're like, oh, Dave's gonna say some sad shit. Let me get that one pinged up.
Right.
Really streamline this stuff, and we'll get real good with it. But I don't know about you, my friend. I am very excited for the coming weekend of football.
I am very hungry.
Well, that's what I was setting up. I'm more excited for dinner.
Today. I'm good for dinner.
Yeah,
I think it's about that time.
Yeah, very excited for the weekend. More excited for dinner right now. That's for sure. That is for sure. I'm trying to be good, eating salads and healthier stuff. Hit the gym a couple days. Trying to get better. I got to look somewhat good for my wedding that's coming. My wedding's 3 months from Thursday. That shit's crazy.
That is crazy.
Did you get the invite?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, Amanda sent them all out on Friday, so we just started getting some of the replies. So
we did receive it in the mail.
Yep, 3 months from Thursday, 7 months ago today, my daughter was born. It has been a hell of a year, and I just see 2026 being even better. Knock on wood.
Let's keep going.
Health,
Boom.
happiness, and anything but the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. So we already got that covered. Let's go. But David Hastings, 23.
By the way, shout out to anybody in the chat.
Yeah, we're low on numbers today. Just
That's all right.
Just Carl Sr. was with us today.
That's all right.
We went up 1, but then it dropped. I don't know what happened, and I never know if the 1 means me or somebody else. I never can tell. So
all
but
good.
Either way.
Good, but shout out to Carl Sr. Shout out to anybody else. Listen, I know Carl Jr. listens back later on. I know Timmy listens back later. I know a lot of other people do as well. So shout out to everybody and anybody who supports us. Please subscribe, follow, share. Follow us on Champscast on TikTok. Follow us at Champscast on Facebook, on YouTube. That's Champscast with a Z. Throwing it back to our Sports Zone heritage. So, yeah, you can find me at The Living Legend. You can find Louis at Louis Aussie Dude on Instagram. And Dave.
D Hastings 23 on Instagram, David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter. And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, may life treat you well and
live like a champ.
Your bets cash.
Live like a champ. Boom.
Let's go.